This is part 2 on Robert Lang's cactus tutorial. Now you should already have seen part 1 and pre-creased following part 1, and you should have this. If you don't, make sure you go back and watch part 1, I will link it in the description. But for now we are ready to collapse. Now I'm going to use the collapse diagram made by Kareshi on Discord or Daniel Brown, so I will link his pages in the description as well. Big thank you to him and shout out simply because this makes it so much easier to actually collapse this model. And also at the end of the video I will be doing like a sort of Q&A with Robert Lang. Basically I asked him questions about this cactus, about his cactus through email, and then I will read the answers to what he replied to. So they're really cool as well. So here we go. First of all, colours side up. Again we have the T for top, up at the top, here and here. Now, what was I going to say? So basically, the way you would collapse this is the exact same as the full crease pattern. You would have obviously the full crease pattern pre-creased. This part here is basically the exact centre. So you basically have 5 molecules this side, 5 molecules that side, and then the gap in between. So if you've already got it pre-creased, and then make sure you've got it in this position. Make sure you've not got 4 molecules this side and 6, or 3 and 7. It has to be exact centre, 5 and 5. And then if you've got that colour side up, the pot at the bottom obviously, then we're good to go. So first of all we're going to make a mountain fold on this crease, and then a valley fold on this crease. Oh, that was complex right there. And then the same on this side. So we have this. And then we're going to count over 2 creases. 1, 2, and then make this a mountain fold, and then a valley fold. Oh, wrong one. Failed already, Grant. And then the same on this side. So we have this. So it's basically similar to how you would collapse the region in a way. Have these alternating pleats. Now what we're going to do is make a mountain fold through this top crease, and then a valley fold through this one. Like that. And then we're going to count down 2 creases, 1, 2, and then the same again, mountain fold on this one, and a valley fold on this one. So basically what you see me do is, to collapse the entire crease pattern, you would do the exact same thing. You would have these pleats, these first ones that we put in place, going all the way across the crease pattern, and then you would do this from the top all the way down to the very bottom. Did I say do the same thing here again, counting down 2, and then the mountain fold here, and they will overlap, so don't worry, and then the same at the bottom. So we have that. So that is what we have. So you're basically making mountain folds on these parts of the crease pattern. So if you can spot these, then you can easily make them like that. When you actually see my actual video of this model, you will instantly notice everything I'm doing, exact same as this, just many more times. That is basically what collapsing is all about. Okay, so we have this. And don't worry if the crease pattern fuses like that or like that, makes no difference. So make sure, again, you've got top side up. What we're going to do now is, we're going to take these parts and pull apart. We're going to basically undo the paper here, like that. And then I'm going to do the same here. I'll do one side first and then the other one. It's probably easier to do 2 at a time than 4 at a time. So basically we have this. Now we're going to make a few extra creases, but with these creases it's important that you don't make them too hard because they are actually not needed. And basically the creases we are making is 4 diagonals. So here we're basically making a square, here and here. Also, as you can see, we don't have a crease here, so it's not actually needed. And the main ones here as well. This part of the model gets seen, or is it this side? Either, it's one of the sides, but because we will be making a diagonal here and here, try not to make them too hard, but don't worry. With the amount of work you'll put into collapsing and shaping them, even if you do make them quite strong, they will near enough disappear on their own. So we're just going to bring this part down. What I like to do is push in 2 sides first, and then I'm just going to basically line up like a water bomb. So make sure the sides, let me zoom in, easier to get in focus if I zoom in. So make sure the sides are lined up. And for this video I am going to crease them really hard, just to make it easier to show, but you don't need to do it as hard. And then bring down this side. So we have this. So we've made 2 of the 4 diagonals, which is here and here. Now we're going to make 2 more, basically from here to here and on the other side. And how we do that is, in fact, let me do the same on this side first. So do the same on this side to keep it symmetrical. Then fold this over. Now we have this, so we are going to basically turn it like this. We're going to re-put these pleats back in place, and we turn it around. So the top side is now at the bottom. Yeah, it's zoomed in enough, alright. Open it up. Again, these creases aren't fully needed, so again, just make them soft. So let me zoom in. So like that, so you're basically lining up. Doesn't need to be precise because when we actually come later on to use these, we will undo it, so they're not actually needed. So for instance, don't need to be super precise. And then this one, so just fold it over like that, and then fold it back down. Let's turn the top side back up, and as you can see, we have split this paper right here. And we are going to do the exact same right here. Because we've got the mountain fold, we are capable of doing that. So again, pull out the paper, the first side, then the second. This is where it does come very time consuming to actually do this for all the molecules. You need to do it a couple hundred times, and then what I'll show you next, you need to do a couple hundred times, and then after that a lot of times. So it's, I wouldn't say the model is entirely difficult, but it's very time consuming, and you're doing the same actions over and over and over again, so that isn't always up everyone's alleys. Not everyone wants to do that. So we have this, and same as this top part, we're just going to make the diagonals. So I'm going to make these creases super strong. You don't, and I'll show you exactly why you shouldn't at the end of the video once we collapse it. So we have now 2 parts separated. Now what I want you to do, no, in fact, let me see, we've done that there. No, not yet. So we're going to do the exact same here and here. So again, pull out the paper. I'm just going to do 2 at the same, in fact I'll do one at a time, just to make sure I'm accurate. So once you do that, again, line up to be a waterborne base. And then fold this part back over. And fold this part up like that. And then same again, we will make the diagonals. Like that, so we have separated this part. Now, same again here. Now I wonder if Robert Lang had an actual sequence to collapsing his. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I did ask him. I was curious to know why it took him 7 years, and he did reply, so I'll give the answer to that at the end of the video, but I'm wondering if he did actually have a sequence to this, or did he do basically just jump into the crease pattern and collapse it basically as it is. So we have now done 6 in total. We've done 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. What I want you to do now is do the same again, what we just did here, right here. Now you should have this done on this side, done on this side, and in the centre. Now if we put these pleats back in place for the second one, you'll notice that it is the exact same as the first one. So what you're going to do is, everything that we just did here, here, here and here, do it on this side, on this side, on this side and this side. So do everything that we just did again on the next set, and you should have something like this. So this is what it looks like. Zoom in a wee bit. So again, we've done it here, here, here and here. So we've done it 6 times in the bottom, 6 times on the top. And the back as well. You don't need to worry too much if these parts aren't super close. For me, this part doesn't get seen, because once you shape it all, you will basically wrap it around with the spikes out, so it doesn't get seen. So don't worry too much about that. Mine isn't perfect like that as well, but the spikes are perfect, so it really makes not too much difference. And of course, the inside, the pleats of course will overlap, but don't worry about that. This isn't the final form of the model. We're going to slightly adjust it, so we can now start collapsing the spikes. Okay, so make sure you've got it like this. Again, top side up. We're going to turn it to the left, like that, and we're going to fold down these 2 parts. So we're going to work on the top ones first, and then the bottom ones. So what we do is, we open this part, and zoom in a wee bit more. Open this, and then we will pull this part up. Depending on how you collapsed it, this part might already be at the top, but we pull up over like that. And then we will undo this crease and this one. So we'll have something like that. So we're basically alternating the angles. These 2 go like this, and these 2 will go like this. So then we're going to pull, let me see, I'm going to take this part and pull it over. So this part was under this part, now they've switched, this part is now over this part. Again, depending on how you collapsed it, that could already be above. And then we're just going to undo that plate or that crease and undo that one. So now we have this. We have something that looks like that. And we're going to basically turn it around again and repeat what we just did on this side. So open it up, grab the top layer, pull it over, undo that, pull this part over it, undo that, turn it around, pull it over and undo it, and like that. So we have something that looks like this. Now basically what we do is we will collapse this first set, which will help to set up the second set, because when these are collapsed we will put this into this format and then collapse it again, and you basically do this through the entire crease pattern all the way down. So you would have lots of these flaps going all the way down, and you just undo one row at a time. So we have this, and show you the back in case you need to see it. Doesn't really make too much of a difference. Now what we're going to do now is this is where we actually start to collapse the creases and use them. So we're going to make a valley fold here and here, and the valley fold here and here. So we'll just take it over, and don't worry too much if the layers don't fully line up, because you're going to have so much layers like this at once. There's a really good chance that it won't line up properly. So don't worry too much about that, because when you actually shape it in the end, you can easily fix it. So that's the first one, and then just repeat it on this side. Now with this method of collapsing, you don't actually need to pre-crease the crease pattern, but I would highly recommend it. I would highly recommend you pre-crease it, because it makes it so much easier, and trying to do creases like this when your paper is warped and 3D does not help. So I would highly recommend pre-creasing it. It takes a while, but it's definitely worth it. Okay, so we have this. Now we are going to turn it around and push in on these creases. This one here and this one here. So normally I would just push in with my nail just to start them off. So we have this. So basically I'm going to push in here and then hold this mountain fold and then collapse over. So once you do that, you'll notice that this part lies flat. Oops, I'm off camera. Once you do that, you will notice this part right here and here lie flat, but these sides have been raised. So what we do now is, I'm just going to fold this over. I'm going to fold this flap to the right. I'm just going to hold it like this. Now what we're going to do is fold this edge over that part and fold easier like this. Yep, so we're going to fold this edge over. It will naturally fold over, and take this edge and line up with this edge. So just like that. And once you do that, you will notice this part automatically lies flat. So flip this part over and repeat on this side. So we're just going to fold this edge over and then line up here. And then if you want to make it easier, just collapse it like that, and then that's that part set up for the next one, near enough. So we have this. Now for this part, if you didn't pre-crease it, you would need to make these all by hand, and there's a really good chance that this part won't be as flat as it should. It won't be collapsed as neat. So trying to do this then is just going to be a nightmare. I highly would not recommend it. So we're going to open up and then make mountain fold, mountain fold, mountain fold, mountain, mountain, and then valley and valley. So what I do is open it up and then pull this part behind, and then this part, and then bring it back together, and then just squash it. Like that. Now, tweezers, open up this layer, and we're just going to tuck this part underneath it, like that, and then open up this other layer and tuck it underneath, and you have collapsed one side of the spines. So that's what it looks like. Now make a valley fold here, and then just hold them tight here, hold them together, and then fold down like that. And then we're going to repeat the process here. So basically, now that we have two parts connected, we don't have one end unit where there's nothing here. We have two parts, so there's a unit here and a unit here. So basically the same thing. Going to fold the sides in, and then make this crease, and then this one on this side. Like that. Now, same again, open up, and then I normally just push in with my finger, or you can use a wee tool, and then bring the edges together, and then flatten. Of course, using that valley fold, these creases right there. So try not to make any new ones. Again, when you do this with your actual paper, it will be tricky. So take your time and be as precise as possible. So we have that. Oops. So again, now fold the edge over. This is where it comes in so handy when you have all the pre-creasing already creased. These creases are already here, they're all ready to be used correctly. So it's just a matter of getting to here as cleanly and as neat as possible, and then use them, and that is it. So we've done it this side, the same on this side, and then just fold up. And I'm just going to do that as well, just to try and make sure I don't make any extra creases. So now we have this, and now it's the same again, open it up, and then fold over this crease, and this one. Normally I use tweezers, then just make these valley folds, then bring together and squash. And then you're going to lift up this layer and tuck it inside, and then this layer and tuck it inside. And we have done it both on each side. Well, in fact, we've done both sides. So you should have something like this. That's side one, side two. Now this part is the easiest. We just open it up and basically petal fold this side in. And the same here. And if you've just done that, congratulations, you have just collapsed your first 4 spines on Robert Lang's Cactus. Let me zoom out a wee bit. So we have this. That is the first 4 done. Now we're going to do the exact same here. So like this, fold this crease up like that. We are going to push in on these valley folds, make this the mountain, and then bring together. Now sometimes it may not fully collapse flat, but it's just a matter of using the creases correctly. Sometimes they can overlap each other and then it won't lie flat. And then if it doesn't lie flat, then your pre-creases won't be able to get used efficiently because the paper isn't flat enough to actually properly use them. And then the same on this side. Then open up, and the same again. We're just going to tuck these parts underneath. Then open up and hide them. And then fold down, turn it around, and again fold over this side. When you actually come to see my video or my actual fold and the video, whenever I come to finish this cactus, you'll notice me doing this constantly, over and over and over again. So it doesn't fully lie flat. Never mind, yeah it does. So I've done it like that. Now fold over this edge, and then fold this edge up. Fold that over, fold that over, and then like that. Now open up and fold in these parts. Now bear in mind that when you actually come to use this, make this model, the paper will shrink down a lot. So these spines are much bigger than my ones on my square. I used near enough 1 meter, 100 centimeters, and these are slightly bigger than mine. So the model really does shrink down a lot. So I would highly recommend you use at least 1 meter square. And you'll get a good size comparison when mine is finished to if a meter is big enough or not for you. But I would say definitely no smaller than 1 meter. So there we go, we have done 2 spines. No, you have done 2 spines, congratulations. Now, like that. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to show you how to put this one back into this position, and then you can do the rest. Give yourself a little challenge. So what I do is, open up these parts, and then as before we need to undo this crease. Now this one's underneath, so we're just going to lift up and then do that. Let me see, I'm going to pull this part up and then just zoom it a wee bit so I don't go off camera and miss anything out. We're just going to bring this up and then here as well. Like that. Again, don't make this part too firm. What I mean by that is, don't make this crease right here. And it's very easy to to do this and then crease like I did, but this crease right here, let me hold it like that, yeah. So this crease right here will get seen, so make sure you don't actually overly crease it. So it's just a little gentle crease to hold it in place, and then that's that. So I'm going to do the same on this side. I've got 4% left on this battery, so I'll try and get this part done. Oh yeah, I need to lift that part up. I was wondering why it wasn't lying flat there for a second. So now we have that. Now this is in the exact same position as the first one. So now I've got 3% left on this battery. So what I want you to do is repeat everything we've just done here and here on this one and this one. And once you do that, you will fully collapse these 4 molecules, or all the spines, and what you should have after that should look like this. Now here we have 4 fully collapsed flat folded spines. We've collapsed all the 6 molecules, so they basically make up 4 of these, and yeah, not much else to say. This is what you should have. So they're actually really fun to fold these. They're not too difficult. Again, pre-creasing it makes it so much easier. And then obviously to shape it, you would open up, add glue in between all the layers, and then just thin it down as much as possible. Like that. And then you would do that for every single one. So if you manage to collapse this, then great job. You are successfully ready to attempt the full thing if you wish. It will take quite a while, so take that in mind. Yep, so that is that. So let's go to, in fact I'll leave it on screen. Let's check out the questions I asked Robert Lang and the answers he gave about his cactus. Right. So I asked him 3 questions. I didn't want to bombard him with questions. I did have a lot more, so I didn't want to just go, here's 30 questions. So I only asked 3. So the first question I asked was, how did the idea come along in wanting to design a cactus? And he replied, I've had the notion for a long time. I'd seen a few origami cactus designs over the years, but they all lacked what I considered to be the most distinctive feature of a cactus, the spines. And I knew it would be both technically challenging and craftsmanship challenging to design and fold the spines in a way that captured the delicate spininess of the real thing. So that is actually so interesting. He saw designs that didn't meet his standards in a way, so he thought, why not? Let's design one and make it exactly as he visioned, which is really cool. The second question I asked was, I recently saw the engineering with origami video that you were in. You showed your cactus model, which inspired me to make it, and was curious to know why it took you 7 years to make. I need to go and change this battery quickly, it's just going to die. And Robert replied with, because folding the spines carefully and precisely is extremely slow and tedious, I could only force myself to work on it a little at a time. I could have folded it more quickly if I was willing to allow the spines to be not as delicate or precise as I wanted, but I figured I was only going to do it once, so best do it as well as possible that once. And that is so true. When you, like, just as I mentioned in the previous video about precision, it's all about taking your time. Don't rush your model, because if you rush pre-creasing, you rush collapsing, you rush shaping, and the end result, you can tell it's rushed because it doesn't look as good. I mean, it's impressive that people can fold models super quick, but it's not impressive when you see the results, so it's not a good layoff. And when I was folding Ryujin, obviously the reason I took a year, other than doing the tutorial, just like Robert said, I was only going to do this model once in my lifetime, so take as long as possible to try and get it perfect, and that's what I did. So it's all about taking your time, don't rush things. Just because you feel capable of doing it quicker, take your time. It's not a race, and you always get the best results if you do everything as precise as possible. So that's, again, Robert Lang said. And the final question I asked Robert was, before you created the cactus crease pattern that is on your website, did you have to make and adjust different versions of it until you were happy with it? And he replied, no, but I designed it in stages. First a single cluster of 4 spines, which is obviously just 4 on their own, then a 2x3 array of clusters, then figured out how to join the cactus to the pot via folding, then did the full design and folded it. So it was done in stages. I did think it would be in different versions, but it's actually so cool to know that he did it like that. And thank you so much, Robert Lang, for answering my questions and allowing me to do this tutorial, even though I said it right at the end. Yeah, that is everything. I hope you managed to make this, and good luck if you make the full version. This is the final part, so there won't be any more parts for this tutorial. And yeah, that is it. See you in the next video.